What turns an ordinary commute into a nightmare? Every day, thousands of people board the subway, lost in their own thoughts, trusting that the journey will be uneventful. The rhythmic clatter of the train, the hum of conversation, and the familiar faces create a sense of routine and safety. But sometimes, the unexpected shatters that calm. When two people in Washington, D.C., are routine afternoon meeting to fight for survival, the platform, usually a place of anticipation and patience, was about to become a scene of unimaginable terror. As trains came and went, no one could have predicted the violence that would erupt in just moments. A sudden knife attack at a busy subway station with two critically injured, transported to your past. Sirens blazed as emergency responders rushed in. Their presence was stark contrast to the normal busy, the flashing lights and frantic shouts signaled that something had gone terribly wrong. The incident shattered the illusion of safety that city commuters rely on every day. People who once ignored strangers now clung to each other, seeking comfort in their journeys. The sense of vulnerability was overwhelming as the reality of the attack set in. Screams echoed, disbelief spread. How could this happen here? What is it? Panic gripped the crowd as people screamed for safety. Some frozen in shock, others desperately searching for loved ones. The ordinary had become extraordinary, and fear was everywhere. Witnesses described the sudden that seemed to randomize violence. Many struggled to process what they had seen, their voices trembling as they recounted the events with relief. The randomness of the attack left everyone questioning not only their guilt, but the victims who could not honestly love, and the people who lost their suddenly into the silence of a city-wide fire. Paramedics watched in horror, powerless to help but unable to look away. The entire station seemed filled with breath, united in shock and fear. The attack became instant headline news, igniting urgent questions about public safety. News outlets scrambled to cover the story, and the city was left reeling. Conversations in homes and offices turned to fear and speculation, as everyone wondered how much violence could erupt in a place so remote. In a moment, strangers became first responders. The city's sense of security was left at risk. The aftermath was lingered long after the silence faded, as the community struggled to come to terms with the strangers of everyday life and the courage that can emerge in the face of tragedy. On an ordinary weekday morning, the heart of Washington, D.C. pulsed with its usual energy. The subway station was packed, tourists snapping photos, office workers checking their phones, and residents hurrying to their destinations. The air was thick with the sounds of trains screeching, announcements echoing, and the steady hum of conversation. No one suspected that in a matter of moments this everyday scene would be shattered by violence. Suddenly, a piercing scream cut through the noise, freezing everyone in place. Panic erupted as a man brandished a knife. His movements were wild and unpredictable. In the chaos, two people fell to the ground, blood pooling beneath them, as horrified onlookers realized the gravity of the attack. Commuters scattered in every direction, fear etched deeply on their faces. Some ducked behind pillars, others sprinted for the exits, desperate to escape the unfolding nightmare. The station, once bustling with life, was now gripped by terror. Yet, amid the chaos, acts of courage emerged. Bystanders rushed to help the wounded, tearing off jackets and shirts to staunch bleeding, dialing 911 with trembling hands, and offering words of comfort to those in shock. In those frantic moments, strangers became lifelines, holding the line between life and death. Within minutes, the wail of sirens signaled the arrival of emergency crews. Paramedics and firefighters moved with practiced urgency, weaving through the crowd to reach the injured. Their calm professionalism stood in stark contrast to the panic that had overtaken the station. The victims, both in critical condition, were swiftly placed on stretchers and rushed to nearby hospitals. As the ambulances sped away, the city seemed to hold its breath, waiting for news and fearing the worst. Police officers quickly locked down the station, blocking entrances and stringing up police tape. Their presence was immediate and overwhelming as they worked to restore order and begin the painstaking process of investigation. Trains were rerouted, as busy platforms transformed into a sealed crime scene. The echoes of chaos lingered in the empty space, a stark reminder of the violence that had just occurred. Officers fanned out across the station, collecting evidence, interviewing shaken witnesses, and reviewing hours of surveillance footage. Every detail mattered as they pieced together the sequence of events and searched for answers. The immediate threat had passed, but the shock and fear lingered. Commuters who had witnessed the attack stood in small groups, their faces pale and voices hushed, struggling to process what they had seen. The city's rapid response was a testament to its preparedness, but it also underscored a grim reality. Such violence, once unthinkable in these public spaces, now felt all too possible. Officials gathered to coordinate next steps, determined to reassure a shaken public. As investigators worked late into the night, the community was left grappling with fear and uncertainty. Parents clutched their children a little tighter, while neighbors checked in on one another, searching for comfort in the aftermath. The attack's aftermath was a sobering reminder of how quickly the familiar can become dangerous, and how public spaces can turn into battlegrounds in an instant. The sense of safety that once defined the city's transit system was shaken to its core. As the investigation continued, one thing was clear: the questions were just beginning, and the search for answers would shape the city's sense of security for a long time to come. Police moved fast, using witness accounts and surveillance to track the suspect. A 27-year-old man was arrested nearby, ending the manhunt but deepening the mystery. His motive remained unclear. No robbery, no argument, just a sudden eruption of violence. The suspect, known to law enforcement, faced charges of assault with a deadly weapon and attempted murder. The public, desperate for answers, speculated about mental illness or deeper issues. The attacker was in custody, but the city's sense of safety was far from restored. Spaces in a changing city. The attack left an invisible scar on D.C.'s commuters. Anxiety-filled metro stations. Riders became hypervigilant, scanning for threats. Many changed routines, avoided late hours, or switched to cars and ride-shares, clogging city streets. For those who stayed, every commute became a source of stress. Stories of close calls and unsettling encounters flooded social media and community forums. Debates raged, more policing or more social services. Catalyst for citywide soul-searching about safety and freedom. The loss was more than physical. It was the erosion of urban ease and trust. The city grew smaller. Rebuilding that false sense of security would be a long, uncertain journey. The D.C. attack echoed a troubling national trend: rising violence on public transit. Cities like New York faced similar horrors, with random assaults turning commutes into nightmares. These incidents fueled a national debate about root causes, pandemic fallout, mental health crises, homelessness. The problem ran deeper than crime. It reflected social fractures and systemic failures. Cities responded with more police surveillance, everywhere. Transit violence isn't just an American problem, it's a global issue that touches nearly every major city on the planet. Every day, millions of people rely on subways, trains, and buses to get to work, school, or home. These systems are the lifeblood of urban life, connecting diverse communities and powering economies. But with this essential role comes a unique vulnerability: the risk of violence in spaces that are open, crowded, and often anonymous. Even cities renowned for their safety and efficiency, like Tokyo, have not been immune to shocking attacks. The sense of security that millions take for granted can be shattered in an instant, reminding us that no place is truly exempt from risk. In May 2025, a knife assault at a Tokyo station left 2 injured, stunning a nation unaccustomed to such violence. The incident sparked national debate about safety and the need for vigilance, even in places long considered safe havens. From London to Sydney, authorities are constantly adapting their security strategies. Increased patrols, advanced surveillance, and rapid response difficult to secure. More police and cameras can help deter crime and respond quickly, but they're not enough to address the root causes or prevent every incident. Technology and manpower alone can't guarantee safety in such complex environments. The real solution requires a blend of smart security measures, responsive policing, and robust mental health care. Collaboration between law enforcement, transit agencies, and social services is essential to create safer, more resilient transit systems. The DC attack is just one chapter in a much larger global story. A story about the fragility of public trust and the anxiety that can ripple through entire cities after a single violent act. Cities everywhere must find ways to balance safety with compassion, ensuring that public spaces remain welcoming and inclusive while protecting those who use them every day. The struggle to keep transit safe is a defining challenge of modern urban life, one that will shape the future of our cities and the way we move through them for generations to come. Beneath the headlines lies a deeper crisis: public safety colliding with public health. Subways often